Hey legends. Okay, so this is the magnetic sales course introduction. Over the last 15 to 20 years, I've been building businesses and I started out the hard way in the hustle, grind, and sheer willpower. And it worked until it didn't. Doing the hustle and pushing the boulder uphill isn't the most enjoyable way to build a business. And so it's tiring, it can burn us out. I remember many times just wanting to just give up and move on until I realized that it's a choice and that I am my time and I am the way that I build my business and my sales within the business. So I started to really look at my own consciousness and how to build sales that was more easeful and in flow. And my current business is Fox Wardrobes and Cabinetry. We turn over nearly 10 million a year. We have a team of 45, and this what I learned from the start to now, and I've spent thousands of dollars on sales coaching. I went to the US and was trained by one of the number one sales coaches and experts in the US, and I spent time with him at his home, and I realized that a lot of the practical processes that we use in sales to build the system make sense, but what we're missing is a whole piece around trust, alignment, and flow. And so once I started to weave both together and I shifted my perspective around my time and the team, and which is what I'm weaving into this course, I was able to create sales and expand sales in a much more nourishing way. I've built multiple businesses and scaled them past $1 million a year. And so I'll share examples from these different businesses as well as my current business that's still operating today, and things that I've implemented practically to achieve a magnetic sales system. So everything begins with clarity. You need systems, and then it allows for alignment. When structure and consistency and customer experience are dialed in, results become predictable and easeful. So the magnetic sales system is a synthesis of client profiling, value proposition, sales process, customer journey, and the customer experience, weaved in with the energetic principles of how I operate in intuition, frequency, alignment, identity, collaboration, and magnetism. And by weaving these two things, we then create the magnetic sales, which allows us to create a field of resonance that draws in creative ideas on how to find the people that our business is the gift for. And by being more creative and being more magnetic, we actually create a much more easeful way of growing sales revenue and building a nourishing business that sustains us, our team, and the people that we're involved with. So I'll share the this will is this the process that I've used from building from just me as one person to now a team of 45 and a sales function of 6 people in the Fox business with a sales management system. So it's from founder run to team run, and it'll take this course specifically will take us to that point where we've built a sales playbook, and then beyond that will be another course on how to manage and build a management system around one that doesn't require founder involvement. So it'll teach you how to build the value proposition, to understand your ideal client, not just demographically, but vibrationally, how to create the sales system that's repeatable, clean, and easeful, and why the systems and the numbers and the data in the physical is so important to then create boundaries and limits that allow for people to feel safe, nervous systems to relax, and for the energetics to work their magic. It'll teach how to sell without being pushy, being able to choose, being more at choice with time and your own boundaries, and so that you don't burn out, removing key person risk from your business. and how to turn that business into a magnetic field, which brings in opportunities. Once you complete this process, my goal is that you will walk away with a crystal clear value proposition, clarity on your ideal client and who is a non-ideal client, have some creative, probably 3 creative strategies or more that are energetic but also practical, that you may not have thought of before, on how to access your ideal clients and to get in front of more of them, and to magnetize more of them to you and your business. So the skills of saying no, and how to create those boundaries by being, we call it the rare air, which is saying no that in a way that deepens trust and creates space for the most aligned yes. I feel that this is really important, not just in sales, but in leadership as the business grows. And a fully matched client journey with feedback loops, which allows for your actual delivery and business and ecosystem becoming your most powerful sales channel, and how it then multiplies referrals of the ideal client rather than filling your time with the non-ideal client and being frustrated. And the final takeaway is a draft or a first edition of your sales playbook. Our playbook is now up to iteration or version 16, and it just continues to evolve. And even without me in the sales process day to day anymore, the teams still make additions to that, and we're training a new salesperson at the moment within the business. They use the sales playbook, this document, as the consciousness of the sales function, which then takes it out. It's not in my head anymore, it's in the team. And the sales manager now manages that. So a first step in this process would be to write your magnetic sales playbook, which would then evolve, and in the advanced course be a foundation for building out an accountability framework and a system that builds your sales system beyond you. It's super important because you're creating the consciousness of the business. And whether you're one person or many people, like I started, it was just me, and built the business by getting it out of my head onto paper. It gives focus, clarity, and a consciousness to create the energetic field that then brings those and magnetizes the expansion of the business. So it is really important. When I first started with the Chillazy business, and I worked out that the ideal event for us was the 1 day event, we were going to multi 5 day events that were taking so much time, energy, effort to set up, with 20 or 30 sales, which was about $500 to $1,000 of sales. And then once we honed in on the ideal client and we started to look at the value proposition and really get clear on some creative ways to get in front of those people, we came up with the strategy of getting events, the 1 day concerts, as being where the value was, and getting onto the event organizer's website as the preferred seating, and then having a stall at the event to sell. And so we went from 5 days, heavy lifting, hard work, to 1 day and within an hour turning over 20,000. It was a huge amplification of the business results. And what it took was some just creative thinking around, if we offer them, so we offered them branding in return for direct link from their website, and also a space to sell the seating on the day. And all of a sudden, boom, it amplified and magnetized the selling of our product and the expansion of our sales revenue. And so we replicated that process to multiple different companies, like Taronga Zoo for Twilight at Taronga, Carols by Candlelight. All it took was more clarity, a good system, and creativity that then multiplied. And so getting this out of your head onto paper and giving space to this creativity will lead to huge lasting impact for your business. Looking forward to journeying with you through this course, and would love feedback as you go and through the steps. And feel free to raise questions in the weekly Q&A and ask questions so I can support you on your journey of building and growing your magnetic sales function.